Disneyland and COVID-19. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. We had a great day at Disneyland today. Not really a full day. They were closing early, and we got started a little later than we expected, or than we wanted to, I should say. It was pretty much what we expected. And so we squeezed as much out of the day as we could. As a day at Disneyland with a wife, also my mother along, and 3 kids, all under the age of 7. Lots of fun. We had a good time. A lot of interesting things that you can take, as I've mentioned in the past 3 or 4 episodes, that you could take off of vacation, especially when you're going to a money-making place like Disneyland, where the whole thing is designed to separate you from your money as much as possible, as quickly as possible. It's a really tough thing to do, and I'm not really sure what the answer is, but you can really see a huge change that has happened. I mean, as in everywhere, but especially at Disneyland with COVID-19. And a lot of this goes back to the history of Disneyland. It's a very interesting idea of how it was put together, and how Walt Disney very specifically referred to the staff at Disneyland as not just staff or security or this or that job, but as cast members. They called them cast members. So he came from the entertainment industry, right? But he saw that if they see this as more of a show that they're putting on, and that they are cast members, and that the people that are there are guests, and they are putting on a show for them in a sense, if they realize that brings on a completely different feel than any other job, especially in the amusement field, right? So that's interesting. So you've got a job. You take a job at Disneyland. You are a cast member, so you're an entertainer of sorts. You are fulfilling a need as a member of the cast, whatever that need is. Even if you're sweeping, crumbs off the ground, like I saw someone do it today, who didn't seem too thrilled about it. I mean, who could be, right? It's tough to make that look joyous. I've seen it done, but it's rare that you see somebody do that. But you see a situation where you've got to perform. You're always on, and you realize that. And really, that's true of any customer service position, or any position where you are in the public eye at all. You really are a cast member in a sense. But Disneyland has always made that a point of what they do. Now, I've never been a Disney cast member, so if there's anybody out there, if there's anything I'm saying that's off base, please put me in my place. This is all from the outside looking in, from all the stuff I've read about Disney and spoken with other cast members about. So I could be off on some of these ideas. But you're a performer in a sense. You're also a servant to them, to all the guests that are there. And this is one of those things that's very much drilled in. And Walt Disney himself, from what I understand, he said something to the extent of, we work so that the guests can play. And that's the idea. That's the idea of being a cast member, is really putting it all out there and doing everything you can for each individual guest experience. So if you see a way to be able to create some magic that day for somebody, you go out of your normal routine in order to do that. That takes priority over your normal routine, depending on what that routine is. And so, bring in COVID, right? All of a sudden, now you have a situation, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but just the plain fact of the matter is, the state governments specifically, and now federal government more and more, but specifically the state government, has made a very big push. Disneyland's in California, right? So the state government's made a very big push from Cal OSHA to make sure that masks are worn in buildings at all times, vaccinated or unvaccinated, doesn't matter, that masks are to be worn by everybody above the age of 2 and above. So if your child is 2 years old, like mine is, or above, they are required to wear a mask indoors. Outdoors, no masks are required whatsoever. Okay, and that is the problem. Is it's being left on the business owner's responsibility to enforce it. So now, what does this cast member become? This cast member becomes somebody that's policing you, in a sense. I mean, they are saying, "Hey, put the mask up," and it's constant. It's all the time, and it's not that they want to, and it's not, and some of them may want to. It doesn't matter to me whether they want to or not, but it doesn't matter if they want to. They are being forced to do it in order for Disneyland to even keep their doors open. They have to go along with this specific mandate, and they're being watched and being kept as an example to the rest of the amusement park industry. So they're put in a really nasty situation, and the cast member concept is being twisted quite a bit, regardless of all the other regulations that are in place there. There's a lot of really interesting ones that are happening. COVID-19 has caused the government to work in a certain way, which has caused businesses to have to change in a way that will certainly be detrimental to them in the long run. You can't mess with that relationship and hope to have a good outcome. So it's screwy, it's strange, and there's a whole lot of other levels to it. I'm a bit too exhausted to go into all of it right now. I know more will come up over time, so I'll bring some stuff up in later episodes. But hopefully that's helpful to you. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Have you been to Disneyland or other amusement parks, theme parks, and what have you seen of how are they different from each other? How has it changed their business practices? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment wherever you're watching this or listening to it. So also, go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon-Proof Your Business. You get a free copy at AmazonProofBook.com. That's all I got for tonight. You have a good one. Get out there and let the magic happen.